I believe in doing whatever it takes to secure greatness, which is us, comma. But good night, gorgeous. Hmm. what it is. Hold on. I'm trying to see if my nigga coming, man. Give this nigga a minute, man. See what he got going on for himself. No goddamn man. Really don't. Who the hell? Okay, I go there. Oh, come on. Man, what the fuck? The hell he got me in, man? Fuck this nigga, man. I ain't fucking with Buddy, man. Fuck Buddy, dog. This nigga done made a nigga lose the court, man. The dumb shit, man. Damn, dog. Nigga dick. What the fuck is this nigga doing, man? I don't like playing with niggas that don't pay attention. It made me snap my buddy immediately. God damn it.
This ain't 8 Mile battle rap. This ain't on the beat battle rap. This is real street, no holds bar battle rap. I said it's 2020.
I could have stopped it. And if you do not give an endorsement, it is an indictment. This is what Kawhi Leonard said after the Game 7 loss. He said that's when it comes to team chemistry, knowing what you should run to get the ball in spots, or just if someone is getting double or they're packing the paint, get smarter as a team. Basketball IQ has got to get better. Who's in charge of getting people in the right spot? Who's in charge of if someone's packing the paint, this is what we need to do. He said Doc Rivers did fail to do that. Skip, this is what we know. They can say all they want to that Steve Ballmer went on this. No, he did not. Because Steve Ballmer is in a situation no owner wants to find themselves in. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can opt out. They don't have a first-round draft pick until 2026. They've mortgaged their future. Are you telling me that he's going to go against the wishes of Kawhi Leonard, who can opt out with no draft picks? He never wants to be what the Clippers used to be, Skip. Clippers were laughing stock. At least now people take them serious. Kawhi Leonard could have stopped them. If he says, I want Doc back, Doc Rivers is the head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers. That's fact. Now, he can say he went it alone. Why you would ask him if you're going to go it alone? If you worth $70 billion, and you're going to ask a man that's worth $100 million. For what? Kawhi Leonard could have saved Doc Rivers' job. He did not. Even if he doesn't, Skip, in a situation like this, if someone comes to you and you don't give them an endorsement, it's an indictment. And they will, and the person that's asking you the question will take it as such. Someone asks you, hey, Skip, what you think about that? Well, he's pretty good. Oh, Skip's favorite. No, that's not what you want to hear. Man, I like him. He's a hard-working guy. He's honest. I love the passion that what he does, such and such. Okay, that's an endorsement. But if they come to you and you don't give them endorsement, that's an indictment. Kawhi Leonard indicted Doc Rivers, and that's why Doc Rivers does not have that job. He blamed Doc Rivers. But I want to know, Nick Nurse didn't get an ounce of credit when Kawhi Leonard was on the Toronto Raptors and they won that title. He got no credit. It was all Kawhi Leonard. Now Kawhi Leonard goes and they gag. He gagged in 4 losses. In the second half, he shot 24%. In a game 7 with the money, the cyborg, he feels nothing. He has no emotion. He doesn't know what pain is. 1 for 11 in the second half. 0 points in the fourth quarter. 2 points in the second half. Get where I keychain. You know what? I got something for you, though. I got a little special treat. You better. I got something special for you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I got one for you, too. I'm going to wear a goat mask.
No. Ain't got a buffer room for 1 goat up here. I'll be it.
I'll wear a crown. Commemorate LeBron's 4th ring. How about that?
Nope. We don't want no parts of you. We going it alone.
Okay, so before any Clippers topic, I have to make a public service announcement. Dear people watching, the Clippers lost to the Nuggets. I was wrong. Kawhi stunk in the second half of Game 7.
6.
But Kawhi was actually really good in the fourth quarter of Game 6 and in the fourth quarter of Game 5. Look it up.
No,
okay.
He was okay.
Now back to business.
Okay.
So, how do you know, Mr. Sharp,
Yes.
on cross-examination,
Yes.
how do you know that Kawhi didn't tell Steve Ballmer when he called Kawhi, I love Doc, I think we should keep him? How do you know he didn't say that?
Because he would have kept him. Skip, you have no...
How do you know that?
Let's think of this. Because Kawhi Leonard can opt out after next year. So can Paul George. So you have the potential of losing 2 superstars, and you have no capital to get your low draft picks until 2026. So 2020... You traded your first-round pick this year to get Marcus Morris. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 are gone. You lost the pick from Miami with the swaps, and they get the swap with you. Sam Presti said, okay, you want Paul George? What you willing to give up for it? And Kawhi Leonard said, if you get Paul George, I will come. So you had to give up 4 first-round draft picks and swaps. So there is no way Steve Ballmer, with the possibility, Skip, if I had him for another 5 years, I can say, nah, Kawhi, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you can't go anywhere. But because he can opt out after next year, you're not running that risk. No way, no how.
So, the ESPN story says, nothing the players told Steve Ballmer, according to sources, changed Ballmer's mind about moving on from Doc Rivers. Nothing Kawhi told him. So you're saying it was passive aggressive, where he might have just sat back and said,
"You gonna do what you do what you gonna do,"
and you think that damned him with faint praise,
yep,
right?
I do. You told Skip Bayless, this is what Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless said he started covering the Lakers in 1976, which, if I'm not mistaken, might have been Kareem's first year in L.A. And he said this was a superstar. He said that's what one thing Jerry West and Pat Riley said superstars run the NBA.
No, you win with superstars. Yes.
But they run this league here. Because this is what we know. Larry Bird wanted a different coach. Casey Jones started coaching. Magic Johnson wanted a different coach. They got a different coach. Even after Paul Westhead won a title.
LeBron James said, enough of David Blatt, and he was history.
Out of there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, it is, Skip.
And what did LeBron James do in his first year in Miami? He went upstairs to Riles, as he called him.
Yes.
And he said, when are you going to coach this team? Meaning, get this kid out of here.
Right.
I'm done with this Spo kid.
Right.
He's not ready for this. He's in over his head.
Right.
That's what was reported.
Yes.
So Riles said, I think I'm going to stick with it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Was that the beginning of the end of the relationship between LeBron James and Pat Riley?
Maybe, but the difference was he had LeBron under contract for 3 more years.
Okay.
LeBron couldn't go anywhere. He got an opt-out after next season.
Steve Ballmer is one of those guys, one of those internet millionaires. Billionaires, I should say. He first was a millionaire. But who did it his way. And he wants results, and he wants them now. And when you don't give him results, when he expected championship, or at least finals, and you fail miserably, where you were in charge all the way through the series, except at the end.
Right.
You really want new glasses, but don't want to leave home? Go to lingoeyewear.com. You'll find tons of unique styles and helpful tools like virtual try-on. You can even get 5 frames sent to you for free. Try them on and let friends and family help you pick. Order your faves and get free lenses, shipping, and returns. It's easy. Get your free in-home try-on at lingoeyewear.com. That's Lingo with 2 eyes. The most delightful way to buy glasses.
Nigga didn't give me the fucking ball. I don't know what this nigga doing. Just holding the ball shit. Let's go. Throw the ball. Yeah. This shit harder than what it gotta be. Thank you. God damn. Oh, what is this? Oh my god, dog. Shit. I let it go early.
Kids are going to roll. That's just the way he operates. That's how he got to be worth $70 billion. He just paid, I forget what the price tag was, but he bought the Forum. $400 million. And he's going to invest $1 billion in a new arena there.
Right.
To rival SoFi Stadium, I'm sure.
Yes.
That will be the new home of the Los Angeles Clippers, so they can get out of the basement at Staples Center and go out toward LAX, the airport.
Right.
And live out where it all started for Showtime Lakers at the fabulous Forum.
Skip, he can build a $10 billion pack. The Clippers are never going to replace the Lakers. The Lakers got too big of a head start. That's like an upstart company trying to replace.
No, I'm
what we
good.
know. You can't do that, Skip.
Y'all niggas ain't
I
trying
want to know the company that's going to
Y'all trying to
outdo
get
Apple.
stats and
So
shit.
who's coming up with something that's going to be bigger than
Throw
Apple?
the fucking
Apple
ball.
got too big of a head start. Google got too big of a
God
head start.
damn,
You
dog.
ain't come up and you
Clearly
have
these
a
niggas
nice
can't
situation
stick
where
me.
you
Look.
have a market cap value.
God damn, dog.
But they got too
Clearly
big of
the
a
man
head start.
can't stick
The Lakers
me.
got 50 plus years in front of you, Skip, and you've been terrible. For 50 of those years that you've been here with the Lakers, living in the basement. Living in the basement.
Yep.
You're going nowhere
So, Steve
fast.
Ballmer, listen to Doc Rivers. Legitimate excuses to me, or reasons why we fail. Number one, no dominant leader emerged other than me. I was always the strongest voice in the room because we know this. Kawhi's no big
Not do some dumb shit.
No, he's
Exactly.
not. He's no vocal leader, Skip. He's not.
Exactly.
He leads with his play. Popovich said it. Say, look, Kawhi's a phenomenal talent. He's a great player. He's not a leader. That's Manu. That's Patty Mills. If you go
that was Tim Duncan.
What's Timmy left? Yeah, what's Timmy left? You go to Toronto. That's Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry was the leader of that team.
Okay.
Van Fleet, that's not Kawhi.
Okay.
And so when chaos is erupting, Skip, you need somebody that can't just be with their play. You got to have a calming, a soothing voice of somebody that's in the locker room.
Okay. So then Doc told Ballmer, we took off right before the pandemic hit. I know the Lakers won one of those games, but the Clippers were starting to click at a high level where the chemistry was starting to percolate. They were starting to get the feel for each other, starting to vibe off each other in ways they hadn't all year.
Right.
And Doc said, rug gets jerked right out from underneath us because we have to take 5 months off when we needed reps.
Right.
I told you, LeBron needed rest, they needed reps.
Right.
So, again, that's a legitimate excuse, and this might be the most legitimate at all. When they got to bubble time, half the team didn't want to go to the bubble, and when they got to the bubble, half the team didn't want to stay in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
Are these legit excuses? Yes, yes, yes. But Ballmer wants results, and all he knows is, wait a second, we're up 3 games to 1. In every game, we were 8.5-point favorites. The Lakers were only 6-point favorites over Denver each of those nights. We were 8.5. So the odds makers are saying, you're even better than over Denver than the Lakers were. That means that you guys should have been, would have been favored over the Lakers if you just got to the Lakers. And what happened? You're up 3-1, and you got a 16-point lead in the first closeout, and a 19 in the second closeout, and a 12 in the third closeout, and you can't close?
Yeah, and there what blows up Doc's argument. Even though they might have been playing well and they had to go on a hiatus, maybe they didn't. Maybe guys didn't want to go to the bubble, and maybe guys once they got to the bubble didn't want to stay. Steve Ballmer is saying through all of that, you were still up 3-1. I need you to explain to me how you're up 3-1 under all those circumstances, because all those circumstances were still in play when you got the 3-1 lead. So you can't use that as an argument from losing 3-1. That was the same situation that got you to 3-1.
Correct. He was asking Doc, what did you do to change the momentum back to our side?
Right.
What did you do to fix the problem? Nothing, because I don't think he made any strategic choice.
Skip, here's the thing. The mistake that the Clippers made is that they were signing players to try to keep them from the Lakers. If you notice, Marcus Morris, they gave up a first-round draft pick because Marcus was going to go to the Lakers. So they gave up a first-round draft pick so they could get him. Okay, Reggie Jackson, he wanted to... Well, we're going to get Reggie Jackson, and we'll promise you more playing time than what you would get with the Lakers. They signed Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah hadn't been good since the January won the French Open.
I think he could have helped them.
He could have helped them.
I do think.
I like Zubac, but Zubac is not a defensive guy. He can't do skill. It took Dwight Howard, who was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, to turn back the hands of time, who looked like the Dwight Howard of old as opposed to an old Dwight Howard.
Okay.
Zubac...
Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, joined by President Obama's good friends. Big game, James Worthy. Big shot, Robert Horry. Allie Clifton is here. Mike Trudell is here with Brez handling the post-game interviews. We're coming to you for the full 90 minutes after a Laker Game 1 victory. The first NBA Finals game for the Lakers in 10 years. They did not disappoint. Absolute dominance, James.
Yeah, I think so. I think the key word was focus at the mission at hand. Led by LeBron, he knows where he is now. 4 games away. So I think it was a little slow start. Miami came out with a big charge, but I think again, the poise of the Lakers went inside, did what they're supposed to do, dominated inside. Also, they hit the 3-ball early and shot well. So
I thought that shit fuck you.
Is what they're supposed to do. This is the finals. You don't leave nothing on the court.
It's a true sign of how you turn things around. If you look at the first quarter, like, oh no, here we go with the previous playoff game. But they just stuck with it. They said, you know what? You got to realize the Heat just came off a series. We haven't played in 8 days or 6 days, whatever it was. So it's going to give us a little time to get this rust off. They knocked that rust off, and then, wow, did they knock the rust off. They came out knocking down threes at a high clip. Their defensive rotation was amazing. They did a lot of great things in the game to show that they was keyed, locked in, and keyed in.
And everyone talked about one of the keys was going to be both teams' benches. And I think the Laker bench has proven consistently that when they step it up, they're hard to beat.
Yeah, the Heat were up 13
Let's
in
go.
the first
Explain
quarter.
that hoe. What you
Just
dribbling
throwing
for?
haymakers. Lakers responded with a 19-3 run, had a 3-point lead going into the second, and from all there, it was the Lakers. Let's go back to Orlando. LeBron is with Mike Trudell.
All right, LeBron James, you've been to the finals 10 times, never in this type of a setting. What was game one like? What did it feel like there on the court compared to the other ones?
One, we got a sense of how hard Miami plays. We haven't played the Eastern Conference team in quite a while. They play extremely hard, and they showed that in that first quarter. We had some resilience on our side, and we was able to be down early 23-10 and be able to take the lead before the first quarter ended. So, big step for our ball club.
Your defense has carried the way this whole season as a team. You've led the way on that end as well, verbally, physically. What in those second and third quarters, and really the end of the first two, what did you guys figure out on that end that helped you limit Miami?
Hey, OG, you got it, bro.
We had to play a little bit harder. We had to match their intensity. We had to match their will. We had to match their drive. Once we did that, we was able to cover for one another, get stops, and then get out and do what we do best on the offensive end.
How about the two-man game with you and AD? It just seems like it's been clicking from the start. Here it is in the finals again. You're both able to get what you wanted to. How has that been going throughout the season and tonight
That
especially?
fuck shit. I'm good. We don't want to pass the ball.
We try to work well off one another. Our team leans on us, both offensively and defensively, to make plays, and that's our job. We're the two captains of the team, and we put that responsibility on our back. So tonight was another good effort for us, but we know we got to be a lot better in game two.
All right, LeBron, last thing for you. You mentioned game two. You said it's championship or bust. You have to get 4 wins. What do you take out of this one that's most important heading into that second game?
We got game one, and that's what's most important. We got game one under our belt, and we're going to watch film, dive into the film session tomorrow, and see ways we can be better. I believe you could be just as great in a win and learn from your mistakes than if you lose a game. So I'm looking forward to getting to the film session tomorrow as a team and see ways we can be better in game two.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, LeBron James not celebrating anything after a game one victory. Braun and Brow, NBA Finals game one. Our graphics producer Andrew Miller put this together, and it is fantastic. 34 points for AD, 25 for LeBron. They combined 20 of 38 from the field. They combined 4 of 8 from 3. 22 rebounds, and you look at the assists for LeBron, 9. He's 1 assist shy of a triple-double, and the 3 blocks from AD were big. I want to start with AD, James, because this was his first finals game. You see the 34 points. You see the 3 blocks. I also see the 10 for 10 from the free throw line, the rim protection, and they just did not have an answer for him, and he showed a lot of toughness in this game, too.
Yeah, what I see is a superstar player coming to a big-time city, recognizing where he is, and he has gone through each stage and gotten better each stage. I saw him in tonight's game really be aggressive. He's had moments where he's been a little, not lackadaisical, but being pushed off the post and things of that nature. No. I saw a determined guy that didn't need any conversation about being ready, blocking shots. Very aggressive on the offensive rebound, getting position. A lot of that has to do with, playing with Dwight Howard, seeing how Dwight Howard plays too. But I saw, AD step up the last couple of series, step it up big time. He's going to another level.
Yeah, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, and we always talk about being aggressive, and you learn from your mistakes. You learn from each team you play in the playoffs. You look at where you played in Portland, and you look at where you played against, the Rockets, and all of a sudden now you're like, okay, in the last series against Denver, every game that you didn't show up is when you went aggressive. And it's like, be aggressive. It's like now, you know what? I got to be aggressive for 4 more games. Maybe, if they lose one, but 4 more games. Now it's down to 3. attack, and show everybody what you got and why you one of the best players in the game.
He can taste it.
He can taste it for sure, James. I agree with you 100% there, and I think we focus so much offensively on how he looks. But Mike talked to LeBron about the defensive end, what he and AD do physically, verbally. When they're connected, James, and you saw it that second quarter on, and LeBron said they just needed to match the intensity. Once they did that, they get stops, they get out and run, they cover for each other. There is no matchup that they don't have the advantage of out there, and have the advantage. It's crazy.
Yeah, while they were trying to, get their chemistry 100%, when they weren't shooting threes very well, offense was a little stymied. Their defense is what carried them all season long, especially when you have guys like, Caruso coming in with his tenacious. Pope does a good job of fighting over picks. Danny Green is an exceptional defensive player, things that he does out there. And then Dwight Howard coming in. Then you add AD and LeBron to that mix. Collectively, they're a really good defensive team. And when they want to turn it on defensively, they can really stop teams and get their offense going, transition, steals, and things of that nature.
Yeah, it's crucial when you have guys that come off the bench like Caruso, Morris, playoff Rondo. When you come on the court, you don't lose a step. But you pick up defensively because you know that's what you're in the game for. You're in the game for to play great defense, cause some havoc. And what Rondo and Caruso and Morris do when they get in the game, they cause havoc. And they come down and make it easier for AD and LeBron because now they cause havoc on the defensive end. Getting steals, getting stops. And now everybody's saying, we got to get a stop. They double team with LeBron. And what do? They knock down open jumps. And that's your job coming off the bench, is to do what you need to do to make the team better. Don't do anything to hurt them.
Listen, we're biased. We watch every game. I think that's why we all push for AD to be Defensive Player of the Year. You see how good this Laker team is defensively in the playoffs. We watched it all year. Their best defensive player is Anthony Davis. But you have to give a lot of credit to LeBron James, too. The way he rededicated himself on that end of the floor offensively. And I think this team, as they've marched on with Rondo and some of the additions, they've taken a little load off. But he does so much for the offense. And the fact that he turned it around defensively this year and did what he did for most of his career, you cannot take anything away from him.
You cannot. You can only add to his legacy. And you think about this. He led the league in assists. He reinvented himself. I know it's hard to say that about LeBron James.
I know.
But he reinvented himself where he said, you know what, I'm going to defer to AD because if AD does well, we do well as a whole. And he's deferring to AD like the way Dwayne Wade did for him when he came to Miami. He's making his team better. But when you say defer, he makes the team so much better even though he deferred. I'm like, whoa, what was this LeBron a long time ago? Because he's passed the ball, getting people in position, making everybody better. Being that quarterback being that general on the floor, getting everybody in the right position and knowing when to attack and getting those mismatches and taking advantage of them.
You know what's so great about LeBron James, and I want to get your take on this, and we saw it at the end of the fourth quarter, Game 5 Denver, when he showed everyone, when he got those 9 straight points, still my league. We opened with AD. We're talking about AD. And we know Brandon Moore is one of our producers. We were sitting here with him. We're all laughing going, so LeBron didn't even have to work in this game. It's kind of crazy. Then you look down. He's got 25, 12, and 9. But it's all about AD.
Yeah.
But still LeBron's league.
That's how you build success.
Right?
That's how you build chemistry and cohesiveness and togetherness. They were up 22 points with about 4 minutes left to go, and somebody missed a defensive assignment. I heard say, "What are you doing? Switch that." He is so focused, and Gita. Not only did he score 9 straight points, but he also says, "I want Murray. The last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, I want to defend, block this shot, makes his presence known." This guy he's Jordan used to do the same thing. Kobe, the same thing. He is amazing at 35.
All-time great.
What he's able to do at this state of his career.
All-time great in a Laker uniform. And here we are in the finals. And if you didn't get to see it, we're going to show it to you right now because the purple and gold are back.
Team focus. He knows he's got 3 more wins to win a championship. And then think of the vacation that this team will have.
Lakers had 5 guys in double figures. And
what the fuck?
10 different Lakers score AD at 34 and 11 and 21. LeBron 25, 13 and 9. KCP 13 on 2 for 6 from 3. KCP with that big first quarter. James had mentioned that he was 3 for 6, 2 for 4 from 3, 10 points in the first, really setting the tone. The Lakers grab game 1, 116 to 98. In the best of 7 series, the next game will be Friday at 6. The Lakers have won 11 of their previous 16 finals when they win game 1. Alex Caruso scored 10 points in his first career finals game. He's now standing by with Mike.
All right, Alex Caruso, kind enough to join us on the post-game show. AC, a pretty emphatic Game 1 victory. I wonder what you thought stood out about this one tonight as you guys were able to handle Miami after that fast start from the Heat.
Yeah, I think we just we came out and started being the aggressors. You know, I think on offense we started attacking the paint a little more, put our head down, get to the rim, and that in turn opened up the shooters for us on the backside. And then defensively, we just kind of climbed up into them a little bit and tried to be, influence them to do what we wanted to do instead.
Late as hell, man. Good thing I got moves. Please throw it. Nope. That's all. I'm at that. Come on, what's up with this dribbling shit? Alright, y'all got it, man. Y'all got it, man. I'm straight, man. I don't want to be involved, man. You niggas want to do it on your own, do it on your own, man. Show me. Stupid motherfuckers. I ain't mean to walk on the court with these scrubs in the first place. They hopped on with me. Sorry, bitches. I got nerve to not pass me the ball. Clearly, you bitch niggas can't score. Look at this shit. Stupid motherfucker. Oh, nah, you's a dumb fuck. But let me show you something. Fuck you, me. Want to give me a ball in your ass drag. Not getting me. Here you go. Alright. Let me put these icons up. And as soon as the clock get to 2, nigga, I'm getting it to one of you niggas. You know ain't no cap in my rap, Bree. You know ain't no cap in my rap. Wanna play crazy? Okay. Don't give me the ball. You gonna learn today. Bet you don't hop on that circle with nobody else and don't get him the goddamn ball. Oh, he think he finna do me like that. I just run out of bounds with your stupid ass. I know how to play, dumbass nigga. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now try to throw me the ball, stupid ass nigga. Take your corny ass down court. And try your best, bitch. Let me roll my blunt. You sorry bitch, you. It was hard. I bet you niggas don't play 2-on-3 no goddamn more. Stupid bitches. You wanna play 2-on-3? Now play it, you dumb fucks. Look at you. It's hard, ain't it? Look. Can't hit shit with that little pink ass pastel shirt on, huh? Bet you don't hop on that circle with me no goddamn more. Don't give me that goddamn ball. You bitches. Hey, good game, fellas. Hop on the circle with me and don't give me the ball. So stage your punk ass off. Punk bitches. That's right, I said it. Get your bitch ass on around the corner. I tell you, jump on with me anyway. Sorry, nigga. Shit. Damn, that bitch soft as fuck right there. Hold on. Get that bitch right. There we go. Try to tell DT. That's why you got swinging. Swing that hoe. All right. Oh, Lord, to the have mercy. Shit. Tighten up. Flip that hoe. Flip that hoe. Ooh, flip that hoe. Weed coming out the back. That's alright. Cause that hoe officially flipped.
They releasing a deluxe version for Juice's latest album this month.
Oh my God, this nigga hell, this man been dead 100 years. They still releasing music. Jesus. Jesus. This nigga the only nigga I know in the world. Juice WRLD this, Juice WRLD that. Nigga. Please. Blunt. Ooh. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Who online? I ain't got nobody online. Not nobody I want to play with, actually. Shit telling me to breathe. I don't want to breathe. Let me see what this nigga at, man. What this gay ass nigga at, man? Ooh, my leg. Ooh. Ooh, my leg. God damn. Ooh. Got caught the fuck up. Ooh. Fuck. Dog, my legs. Dog, this shit is real. This shit is real. Like, dog. Dog, shit is real, bro. Like, God damn. Ooh, Dragic out. Dragic out. Dragic out for the finals. DT.
Now he went through that from the three-point line, and that just helps your offense. So it's no surprise Danny's had so much team success throughout his career. He's just a winning player.
Bad news. Adrian Wojnarowski.
Say it again.
Coming. Miami's Goran Dragic has suffered a plantar tear, left foot. Sources tell ESPN a big blow for this Heat team, Rob, leading the team in scoring at 21 a game in the playoffs.
The thing about this,
That's
Dragic
what
was
you can't
having a
see
coming
one
out
point.
party.
Shit.
He was such a good player when he was in Houston and other places. And now he went through that ACL tear. And you hate for a guy who's come back from one major injury to have another major injury. And also, you want to see the Miami Heat at full strength so you can really appreciate this championship. But I know Dragic is a fighter. He's going to come back next season. Well, probably not next season, but the season after that. And probably get back to where he needs to be. But you hate to see a player go down with an injury, especially in a big moment like this.
Yeah, I think you definitely want to see your opponent in full capacity, and Dragic has had some injuries. Obviously, he's come back, but that's the nature of the playoffs. You got to play, 7-game series, and a lot of times, wear and tear just takes his toll over time. It didn't look like it was a aggressive move. It's just like he just had that weird, injury right there. And unfortunately, they're gonna. He's key. He's key to them if they're gonna try to win.
Now, producer Ryan Trainer just told me that Woj did follow that up, saying he's not officially ruled out though yet, Alex. So we'll follow.
Yep. They couldn't have said it any better.
All right, guys. Game 2 of the NBA Finals is.
Drops a nice dime, Rob. That was nice.
Yeah, he's learning. He's learning. He's maturing as a player and understanding. It's not always about scoring, so he's dishing it out now.
That one of the Lakers' 26 assists on the night. Let's go back to Orlando. LeBron is speaking with the media.
LeBron, you guys went on, I think a 75-30 run after falling down 13 early. What allows you guys to have success like that over a sustained period of time, a run like that?
Pay attention to detail. I don't think in the beginning that we were physical enough. And you have to get a feel for how hard Miami plays. And I think, they smacked us in the mouth. And we got a sense of that. And so we knew how hard we had to play if we wanted to try to make it a game. And, from that moment when it was 23-10, we started to play to our capabilities. We started flying around. We started getting defensive stops. And we started sharing the ball a lot better offensively and just got into a really good groove.
For AD, thank you. For AD, obviously his first finals game, what did you see about his preparation? Was there any advice you gave him and to see him perform like that? What do you feel about that?
I don't feel anything I expected out of him. Didn't need to give him no advice. We've been preparing for this moment all season. He's been preparing for this moment all season. And I'm happy to be on the same floor with him in the same uniform. And he was, once again, a force every facet of the game, both offensively and defensively.
Dan?
LeBron, you've felt the buzz of the NBA Finals 9 times in your career. What was it like today with nobody there, the sound? I mean, I know you're used to bubble basketball at this point, but on this stage, what did it feel like to play a finals game?
It felt great. I've been preparing for this moment for quite a while. And
fans, no fans, the inner challenge for myself and the way I prepared myself, it felt amazing to be playing in the finals once again.
Rachel Nichols? Brian, you've seen plenty of times over the years where if one team has a bunch of injuries, the other team kind of floats a little bit and doesn't come at them as hard. How do you make sure that you guys don't do that in game 2?
We got so much more work to do. The job is not done, but we're not satisfied with winning one game. It's that simple.
Alrighty, Chris. Thanks.
There was a few times where you guys got up big, and then there's a lot of celebrating going on. And I seen sometimes you have to rein them in a little bit. What do you, from your experience, what have you seen in the past that got you to the point where you felt like sometimes you just say like, okay, let's keep it on task?
The best teacher in life is experience. I've experienced moments in my career, finals games, where you had all the momentum in the world. You felt like you had the game under control. And one play here or one play there could change the course of a series or change the course of a game. And one in particular that always rings home for me is Game 2 of the 2011 Finals in Miami versus Dallas. D-Wade hits a 3 right by that bench. I believe put us up either 13 or 17. And from that moment on, Dallas went on a hell of a run and finished it off with a Dirk Nowitzki left-hand layup to steal that game. To this day. So, I always talk about the best teacher in life is experience. Well, I've experienced a lot. So that's what prompted me to be who I am today, is being able to have those experiences.
Okay, I'll send it back to Will.
Brian, thank you. I'm going to take 3 more on my side. Tanya?
Brian, I'm wondering in a game like this, when you guys have the kind of lead that you had, are you already thinking, this is what we've done, this is what we could do better, here's some things that we're doing wrong? Were you already in that frame of mind during this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can learn so much more from a win.
Let's go, man.
Than you can in a loss. And I can't wait to get, for tomorrow for us to get back together and watch the film and see ways we can be better and see some of the breakdowns that we had, especially in that fourth quarter, especially in that first 6 minutes of the first quarter, where we can be so much better defensively and also so much better offensively. So I can't wait. I'm extremely amped up about watching the film with our ball club tomorrow. I'm gonna watch some tonight, obviously, by myself. But looking forward to getting together as a group tomorrow.
I'll take it. Fuck you, man. I gladly take it.
Ron, Mike Trudell back in LA. Teams have spent your whole career trying to keep you out of the paint. Say the same thing this season about AD. What are some of the ways that you guys are still always seemingly able to get there, still able to get to the rim and still able to finish?
Because we have great spacing and great shooters. Without KCP, without Danny Green, without Kyle Kuzma, or Markieff Morris, and a list of guys that can spread the floor, it allows myself and AD to be able to do the things that we do.
Because he bobbled the fucking ball.
And we try to mix
what
it
type of dumb shit is that?
We try to mix it in the interior and the exterior. But when you have guys that can space the floor like we have, it allows us to do some of the things that we do in the paint.
On my side of the bracket. LeBron, why is Rondo so opposed to being called playoff Rondo? And did you guys see some of that in the first half, especially?
I'm not sure. I've never called him that. We've never called him that. We only call him Doe. So that would be a Doe question. But just having him in this moment, having him on our side.
And did you guys see some of that in the first half, especially?
Game 2. We try to mix it in the interior and the exterior. But when you have guys that can space the floor like we have, it allows us to do some of the things that we do in the paint.
I'll let it go later.
Why is Rondo so opposed to being called playoff Rondo? And did you guys see some of that in the first half, especially?
I'm not sure. I've never called him that. We've never called him that. We only call him Doe. So that would be a Doe question. But, you know, just having him in this moment, having him on our side. And, you know, I think he mentioned yesterday or, you know, whenever media day was for the finals that you never know, you don't get these moments a lot. And, you know, it's been over a decade since he's been in the finals. And, you know, and I think he's just, you know, cherishing the moment, but also just, you know, just playing the game that he loves to play. The cerebral way, the determined way, and the championship way, as he's been playing for quite a while now.
Oh my God. Holy shit.
Look at this, most three-point
Nigga. No lie. Press conference. How about LeBron got on the shorts you got? DT. The black shorts. Oh, I gotta get him now. I gotta get him all.
Big game, James. 9.
God damn.
Hit 3.
Yeah, it's nice to see progress. You know, November we saw a little progress. January, by All-Star break, they had really started to gel before the pandemic hit. And you can see them now continue to progress and get better. The spacing, you know, discipline, knowing to stay in their spots. When Danny Green made that drive, discipline, knowing to stay for that outlet pass. I just like Poe. Discipline, knowing where to be when LeBron going downhill. So, you know, that's leadership. They're getting better and better each series, and right now they're pretty dominant.
I mean, when you're led by two superstars who demand and command so much attention and have the ability to play so many different ways, as a shooter, these are the kind of teams that you want to salivate on. And it's just up to the Lakers and their opportunities to be able to knock down those shots when they come. And it wasn't just 2-3 years ago that LeBron led the league in assisted three-point shots. I mean, they will find you. You've got guys like LeBron and AD tonight, AD with 5 assists, who will find you. You got a guy who has one of the best IQs in the game in Rajon Rondo that wants to find you. And we've said it all season long. We said it even back to last season. If you've got a guy like LeBron on your squad, you got to put shooters around him. Then you add Anthony Davis, who can also create so much space and separation out there. Now it's just up to them to knock down the shots, and Lakers did it.
All right, to Friday, 6 p.m., ABC. You know we'll be there at 5 o'clock with the pregame show. Then Sunday, Tuesday. And after that, we'll let you know what it looks like October 9th.
On that Duncan Robinson shit, man.
Anthony Davis led all players in game 1 with 34 points, and he was a plus 20
on one hand,
with Mike in the media.
The best ever joke. Let's go.
14 of your field goal attempts came in the paint.
Be right back.
I wondered if that had anything to do with the specific mindset, with the matchup, or with anything about the way you approach this game.
I just want to come out with a lot of energy. You know, be aggressive on the offensive glass.
Give me some space.
You know, playing in a dunker's area. You know, when Bron and Doe and AC get in the paint, they got easy dump offs. And not settling for too many jumpers, just being able to, you know, play in the paint and just kind of dominate the paint area. That was kind of my mindset coming into the game.
Hey, Anthony, you said on the broadcast that you had a few nerves before the game, before the ball went up. Just how it felt different. It might have felt different from other postseason experiences you've had getting that first taste of the finals.
No, it was just the finals. First time I'm experiencing this, so.
Very humbling to have a career where you're at the mercy of weather, you're at the mercy of prices. There's only one way to go, and that's to keep going.
You can't predict everything, and that's probably the hardest piece for me.
You have no idea what Mother Nature's going to throw at you.
Pussy, nigga.
El principal problema es el clima, la precipitación y las altas temperaturas.
Es una zona seca, siempre nos falta agua, nunca nos sobra.
100 degrees, no rain inside. And also, like, I was crying myself to sleep watching the weather, man.
This is not for the faint of heart.
The fuck is this?
Obviously, you want to come out and play well, and you want to come out and win. Like I said, I've always put pressure on myself. I had the same thing in one of the Western Conference Finals as well. So,
fucking problem.
When the ball gets tipped up, all that goes away, and it's just basketball. But everything leading up to it, you're very excited. Your adrenaline is going early. Because you're so excited just to be here and get ready to go out there and play. So, it went away early, but it was a great experience. We had a great game one. Job's not done. And we have 3 more.
Allison? All right, we'll start off with Pascal.
It's been really tough. I'm sure you would love to have more of your family for your playoff run. What did it mean to you to have your dad watching you in this game and seeing your first finals and to play so well?
It means a lot. I mean, he, forced my mom to, do that 7-day quarantine to be here. So for him, he's always been the one to, go to all my games, in the home market, not more so on the road, but, he's extremely proud of me. For him to be here, send from courtside to watch.
Come on, man.
My first finals game means a lot to me.
Baby.
We just got to finish it off. I mean, he wants us to win. He wants me to be a champion. So it's a little bit more pressure, coming from him. But it was fun. It was fun seeing him, of course, watching me in that first game.
All right, Conley. Oh, I'm sorry, David Benjamin.
AD, so you had 34 tonight, which is tied for third for a Laker debut in the finals. Shaq's won, then Mike and you and Bailey are tied. When you hear those names, obviously Laker history is such a part of the experience of playing for the team, but when you hear those names, what do you think about it? And, do you have goals of being remembered the same way they are and always be associated as a Laker?
Yeah, it's a great honor to be in that category with those guys. I mean, they've done so much for the game, Hall of Famers, and for me to, come out and perform that way and, be mentioned with those guys, especially just as a Laker, with the biggest franchise in basketball, them guys that you watch film on, that you idolize, and now to, like I say, be in that category is definitely a huge honor for me. Like I say, what makes it even more, sweeter is winning it. And so, obviously that's a great, honor, but I also want to be mentioned in categories of champions. So that's the next step. But the accolades along the way, the list I'm able to join along the way is definitely something you don't think about. It just kind of happens when you go out there and play, but it's definitely a great honor.
All right, Dan.
AD, you mentioned wanting to be aggressive. With their zone, I think a lot of times the zone people want to just shoot over them. Was that something that you guys really focus on, still finding seams and trying to get easy baskets?
Yeah, I mean, this team plays a lot
yeah,
of
man, damn.
They play a lot
Throw the fucking ball.
So, and they've been very effective. They won the series.
My badge is
zone, and we knew they were going to try to run zone against us. And then the 2 regular season games we played, they ran zone. And we just try to find ways to exploit it and make them come out of the zone, or they stay in it, make them pay for being in the zone. But they're a team who runs zone, who knows how to play it. It's our job to find the gaps in the zone to be successful.
Hey, Dave, I know you want to be, wish you were playing the Staples Center right now, but does it feel, coming into this game, did it feel like an NBA's finals match? Does it feel any different from the other playoff games you've been playing here?
Yeah, I mean, you see the decal on the floor. You see all the people in the stands, essentially. You see the patch on the back of your jersey, patch on the side of your warm-ups. So you kind of see that it's a finals game. But like I said, once you go out there and start playing, I don't think the fans are allowed to make any noise. So it feels like a regular game, in the bubble. Even though that pressure of the finals is still there. And so I think it makes it a lot easier for, especially our guys to just go out there and play. But and Staples have been a lot crazy. I mean, just playing in front of your home fans and sharing these moments with them. But I think just being here, it definitely calmed the nerves a lot faster.
We'll send it back to Will for last few.
All right, yeah, I'll take two more. Tanya, please.
AD, I wondered how much of an emphasis was there on making sure that you win early, given how Miami has gotten off to really good starts in all of their other series?
We just want to, be a team to apply pressure. They won all their game ones. We lost 2 and won 1, but we want to be able to, come out and essentially take care of home court. But I mean, we want to win every game we play. We never want to, come out and lose. We came out very slow in the first 5-6 minutes of the first quarter. They got hot. They were down 15, and KCP kind of saved us in that first quarter.
I thought it was the third.
We kind of got going on both ends of the floor. So
I'm about to go crazy.
A team that can get hot from 3 and get to the free throw line and get to the paint. So we have to be able to come out a little bit more aggressive and come out with a little bit more sense of urgency to start the games. That's on the starters, especially me and Braun. But it feels good to get the first game. We're not satisfied. We don't like how we ended the game. There wasn't a championship mentality, and we have to be better in that regard. But we'll take the win, but we'll watch film and try to get game 2 as well.
All right, last one for you, Melissa Roll.
You alluded to this yesterday. You said some guys have loved playing in the bubble. I'm curious, are you one of them? And if so, why do you think you've been able to love this experience so much while other guys have maybe struggled with it?
I just love playing basketball in general, no matter where it is. I just say, some guys like the bubble just because, you don't have that, what I said earlier, you don't have that, pressure from the opposing fans, or even at home, you don't have that pressure from the fans to, that, will boo you, if you're not playing well, and then especially if you're on the road, they can get to you. So, it's a little bit, you have a little bit more, ease here in the bubble, not having to worry about any of that. But for me, I just go out there and play basketball. I mean, I don't really care where it is. If we're in Staples, I would feel nervous. If we're on the road, I would feel nervous. But once the ball tip, I'm fine. The team is fine. We go out there and play basketball.
Anyone else on this end? All right. One last one for Kyle Dillon.
AD, obviously Bam and Garan left the game early. You were talking to us yesterday, and you seemed just really excited for that matchup, especially with Bam. How does it, hit you when you see a really good player or an opponent go out and maybe have the potential to miss some games?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see a guy get hurt. I'm not sure what their injuries are, but you never want to see a guy get hurt. You see guys who work extremely hard to be here, and Lauren and Bam are key parts of their team. And so you never want to see guys go down. Like I said, I don't know the significance of the injury, but
gave me space.
It always sucks, when not sure if they're going to play or not, and not sure you're going to get the team's best. But I mean, we can't worry about that. We have to still go out there. Guys came in, took their place and played extremely well for them.
Come on,
Kevin London came in, played well, Kendrick Nunn. And so, we have to worry about the guys that's going to play and still try to win the series.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn.
Colgate Optic White Overnight Whitening Pen.
15 years of stains in just 1 week. Easy and effective whitening while you sleep. Wake up to white arthritis spot. Used together for great whitening results.
There it is, big game James.
Playoff competition, LeBron or MJ?
LeBron is not even close. It's not even close.
Really?
And Skip, I'm finna blow you out the water with this one. I've been waiting 4 years to get this one.
Oh boy.
Okay. LeBron has lost in the finals to two teams that had 4 Hall of Famers. He lost to the Spurs. The Spurs had Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker, Kawhi. We all agree that they're going to the Hall of Fame. Am I correct? Okay, thank you very much.
Time out. Almost everybody goes to the Hall of Fame. In basketball. Seriously.
Okay.
And what do you call the Spurs? Broccoli. You had little to no respect for them.
I don't like their style of play. I just love that they are very good players. I understand that. Okay. The Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, KD, Clay, Draymond. I feel comfortable in saying all 4 of those guys are going to the Basketball Hall of Fame. And when you look at it, Skip, with the exception of Magic Johnson is the only guy that's comparable when it's all said and done. I mean, so who other than Magic, when he's done that Jordan beat in the finals, that will be better than KD, that will be better than Tim Duncan, that will be better than Steph Curry? Because those are 3 guys that beat LeBron. Now, he beat Magic Johnson, but Magic was 31.
Wow.
Magic,
ancient.
Hold on. But you do realize Magic can go to 9 finals in 12 years. So can you imagine the wars that he had gone through with the Bad Boy Pistons and the Big Three and the Big Celtics? Okay.
LeBron's 35.
I'm just saying, Skip. Just a second, Skip. Just a second. Okay. If you look at the Knicks was so tough. He had to battle the Knicks.
Green is
the Knicks had 1 Hall of Fame.
Come on, Kawhi.
He's having to battle the Big 3 Celtics. Is Paul Pierce going to the Hall of Fame? Is Kevin Garnett going to the Hall of Fame? Is Ray Allen going to the Hall of Fame? It's simple no or simple yes. Rajon Rondo has an outside chance. He gets this title, he's going to be in contention. That's what he had to go through. Okay, then you say, the Heat. Man, he had to battle those tough Heat, the Pat Riley Heat. 1 Hall of Famer, Lonzo Mourning. That's what he had to go through. Who else he had to go through? Oh, gotcha. The Indiana Pacers. Man, the Pacers, the Davis boys, Reggie Miller and Chris Mullin. Really, Skip, when you look at this and you look at LeBron's body of work, now, had Jordan beat the Big 3 Celtics? Skip, you got me. If he had beat the early Celtics with Moses Malone, Dr. J, Bobby Jones, Caldwell, Skip, you got me. I got nothing for you. Skip, he couldn't get past the Bucks with Sidney Moncrief. 1 Hall of Famer. Took him out. He started beating never beat the Big 3 Celtics. He started getting past the Bad Boy Pistons, the original, once they got old. You know that and I know that. So when you boil it down and you look at what LeBron has faced in the finals and you look at what he's had to face to get there, it's not even close. You look at the guys that he beat. He beat Portland. Portland had 1 Hall of Famer. He beat the Supersonics with 1 Hall of Famer. LeBron James has never faced a team with at least 2. Even when he lost to the Mavericks, Dirk and Jason Kidd in the Hall of Fame, normally it's anywhere between 2 and 4. Michael beating guys with 1 Hall of Fame with Clyde Drexler in Portland, 1 in Supersonic with Gary Payton. Come on, Skip. This is not even close. My guys had the tougher path. 4 Hall of Famers in their prime. And that's what he doing.
My turn.
No further question.
1991, Michael Jordan's first path to a ring just might have been the toughest path in the history of the NBA because it started with Patrick Ewing's Knicks. And this was a different era. This is football, basketball, and these guys were loaded with tough football-style basketball players. Patrick, Mark Jackson, Charles Oakley, John Starks. It is tough. You're going to have to fist fight your way through that team, and that was just the first round. Then it was Charles Barkley's Sixers in the second round. Was Charles any good?
Yeah, 1 Hall of Fame.
Okay. Then the Bad Boy Pistons would just put Michael through the ringer, but he had gone to the weight room finally, thanks to the great Tim Grover, and he said, okay, now I know how to do this now. They've got their Jordan rules. They're going to try to knock me on my butt every time, but I'm going to beat them at their own game. I'm going to be even more physical than they are. And he swept a team featuring Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, and Dennis Rodman. He swept them in the conference finals, which led to, is this any good? Is this a challenge? Magic Johnson, who I rank the second greatest player of all time. Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Byron Scott, and Sam Perkins. Not to mention Vlade, who was an underrated center because he was so cagey and wily and such a shrewd operator. It wasn't quite Kareem, but they were still potent and they were still lethal. And he blew through all of them. They lost game one at home to those Lakers, and then they went boom, 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 4 in a row. It's as rocky and tough a road as anybody has ever faced, and that was just for the first ring. And they had to fight through those same Knicks 4 different times. Patrick Ewing, they would add pieces, more football, basketball players like Anthony Mason. And he had to fight through them in the second round the next time in 92, then in the conference finals in 93. And it's Ewing, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, Doc Rivers was on that team. You want to talk about mentally and physically tough? To get to the championship, I told you, the
I leave
East
for
was the
5 mins
beast
and y'all
all
up
through
by
Jordan's
6-0.
days. The hard part was just getting through the East and getting to the finals. Then I'll give you some of the finals because the second finals against Clyde Drexler, he did finish second in MVP voting to Michael Jordan. And he did have Terry Porter, who was a 2-time All-Star, who was pretty good. But I'll give you that
See,
one.
I got
With
70.
Michael, that was pretty. It was 4-2. They won the game. But then 93, this was no piece of cake in the finals because this was the Phoenix Suns who had dominated the Western Conference that year. And it was, guess who the MVP was in 1993? Can you help me with this? How about Charles Barkley was the MVP? So you're facing him on the Phoenix Suns along with a 4-time All-Star in Tom Chambers, a 3-time All-Star in Kevin Johnson. I don't even know if he's in the Hall of Fame, but he should be. And how about another 3-time All-Star in Thunder Dan Marley, and Kurt Rambis was doing windows for that team, doing all the dirty work. That was a basketball team. That was not easy. And then they had to vanquish once more the Ewing team once more in 1996 when he came back the second time. But look who they had to get through. Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning. Why is it Tim Hardaway in the Hall of Fame? I don't know, because he's a Hall of Famer to me. Second round was Ewing and company, the football team. The third round, is this any good? They swept this team. Shaq, Penny, and Ho Grant. Is that any good? That's firepower, man. They swept them. That team went 60-22 in the regular season, and Jordan just took them out in 4 games, which led to probably the easiest round of all, which was Gary Payton and company, Sean Kemp and company in the NBA Finals. That team went 64-18 in the Western Conference that year. That's how good that team was. So 1997, you know what happened. They have to keep running through the Miami Heat, which just got better and better because they kept adding more players. But they got to the finals, and twice in a row, they had to beat Karl Malone. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. I'd say he is. He is the second all-time leading scorer in the league. He still scored more points than LeBron has so far. Is that any good? Yes. How about John Stockton? He is still the all-time assist leader, right? He was a 10-time All-Star. He led the league in steals twice. He was a dominating point guard on both ends of the floor. So you had to overcome Malone and Stockton, and trust me, I was there. It was not easy, and that was back-to-back years. And then you mentioned that conference final in 1998. Who was that team coached by the way? Larry Joe Bird. In his first year coaching, who was the coach of the year that year? It was Larry Joe Bird, because he was outstanding. And I was there for all 7 of those games, and trust me, it was flat-out basketball war. It was Reggie Miller, it was Chris Paul, it was Rick Smith, who was like 7'2", and it was the Davis brothers, if you will, quote-unquote, and Antonio and Dale, and Mark Jackson playing a lot of point guard for that team, along with Travis Best. That was a basketball team that could play basketball or football, however you wanted to play it, and it went to the last drop in Game 7 at the United Center, and finally, Batman took over once again. He saw the light in the sky, and he said, I got you.
This Jordan beat Magic, Mailman, Barkley, Drexler, Payton.
This motherfucker here.
What's my perfect music festival? It starts with the music, the sound, the mix, right? We've got over 100 songs ready to go. I build my unique DJ and work my way from the day shift to the headline set. So what's next? Collabs with the world. Want a music game that lets you do it all? Welcome to Fuse It.
Yeah.
Steph Curry, KD, Tim Duncan, Kawhi Leonard. Of those, let me ask you a question. Other than Magic, who's going in front of KD? Who's going in front of Tim Duncan? Who's going in front of Steph Curry? Of Mailman, Barkley, Drexler, and Gary Payton?
Okay, you got me on Kevin Durant because he's just better than LeBron James. He's the best player on the planet. Once he went to Golden State, it was over for your guy because your guy's not as good. Your guy in back-to-back game threes in his palace. He could not cope with Kevin Durant.
Okay, Kevin Durant won the Finals MVP even though LeBron James in that game 3 had 43, 42, 12, and 9. I want to know what player of the guys that he beat, Mailman, Barkley, Drexler, Payton, better than Tim Duncan.
Well, okay, but I named you about 50 guys who were right in the same ballpark.
Yeah. And who in the ballpark is Tim Duncan other than Magic?
Look at your East. It's the biggest cakewalk in LeBron's day, especially once he joined the Heat. You got George Paul's Pacers 3 times. You got DeMar DeRozan's baby dinosaurs 3 times. You got to take them out.
But not
it's a cakewalk.
Not with the Heat.
It's a cakewalk. I'm sorry.
Not with the Heat.
It's easy.
Not with the Heat.
It's easy.
Not with the Heat.
Listen, the turning point of LeBron's career came in 2015. Kevin Durant in Oakland. And the Golden State Warriors weren't sure who they were yet because Steph always came up a little smaller than he was in the playoffs. And what happened in games 1, 2, and 3? LeBron averaged 41, 12, and 8. I've never seen it. I told you. It was the greatest 3-game stretch of LeBron's career. And game 4, you're up 2 games to 1 in your house. And what happened? LeBron came up small. He shot 7 of 22 from the field, and he went 1 of 4 from 3 and 5 of 10 from the free throw line. And Iggy took him and basically took him out.
Okay, how about this here?
Okay, that would have been the moment. You could have entered the MJ conversation that night. If you beat Golden State, if you had them down, again, you had lost Kevin Love before the final started, you lost Kyrie in overtime of game 1. That would be an achievement. But instead, you once again lost game 4, 5, and 6, just as you had against Boston and Dallas in the final.
Okay, Skip.
4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6.
I'm going to give you an opportunity. Okay, I'm going to say you got Magic, Mailman, Barkley, Drexler, and Payton. And I'm going to take Steph Curry, KD, Tim Duncan, Kawhi, and Klay Thompson. Who you think win that game?
Boy, those other guys.
Killing me with one hand. I got to pause that. I got to hit that roach. For real. I got 86 of them things. I think it's like 3 minutes left, maybe 4. Gotta get focused. Gotta get focused.
Hall of Famer Scottie Pippen with his thoughts on the bubble, saying, quote, well, I'm going to be honest. It's not NBA basketball. It's not the hard grind. It's not the travel. It's not the fans. It's not the distractions. Really, to me, it's pickup basketball. It's going to the gym. Yeah, you already got your team. Y'all practicing together. Kendrick Perkins back here with us. Stephen A., do you agree or disagree with Scottie's comments?
I somewhat disagree with him, and I think that he's being disrespectful to his contemporaries. He did end his comments by saying he's enjoying it, it's entertaining, but I think it's being dismissive when he uses the words pickup basketball. Certainly these are different times. They're not what you customarily have to deal with. He was absolutely right in pointing out the absence of fans, the inability to travel, things of that nature, how you get to sleep in your same bed, you don't have to work in hostile confines, you know, the noise, the crowd, the adrenaline. Those things are accurate, but we all understand the times that we're living in. And even though times are different, let's not take away from the great basketball that we have seen. It's not pickup basketball. It's organized basketball being played by professionals who've shown up and have made tremendous sacrifices to be there. And knowing that if you lose, you'd go home, yet seeing the amount of competitive matchups that we have seen, I think it's an opportunity and almost a mandate that we pay tribute to what we have seen from these players and these coaches. Denver, that was not a pickup team. Utah, Houston, and L.A., both L.A. teams, even though they lost Luka Doncic in Dallas, what we seen in the Eastern Conference with Boston and Toronto and Miami, the list goes on and on. So I would say Scottie Pippen, I respectfully, he's a 6-time champion. Jordan would have had those titles if it were not for him. Mad respect and love for Scottie Pippen, but I respectfully disagree with how he has categorized these games. I don't agree with him at all.
I agree with Scottie Pippen. I think he's right to point out the differences. Forget about the use of the word pickup if you consider it disrespectful. He's describing it, right? And he's right. There are differences between this and a normal season. But is this harder or easier? In other words, the normal season has a certain kind of grind. This had a different kind of grind.
I missed that.
It took a different kind of toll that he wouldn't know about because he hasn't experienced it. Actually, the players in the bubble, most of them have experienced both. And they can tell you what's different about it or what's harder about one or another. Maybe one or another is actually harder, right? All things considered, according to the opinion of some, and those opinions may vary. But what he's describing it sounds to me to be a fair way to describe things. Does that take away from the winner of the championship? No. Because the winner of the championship, everyone's going through the same thing, right? And even if he wants to argue or someone wants to argue, these conditions select out a different winner than would ordinarily be the case, well then, okay, fine. Like, survival of the best adapted to this situation. Fine. But let me ask you something. Does it seem like there would be other teams in the finals right now? No, in fact, Stephen A., you picked Miami. I think you'd have picked them whether or not there was a bubble, as did you, Kurt, to come out of the East. And Lakers out of the West, you also picked them, and I don't think that had to do with a bubble. So if we're, in fact, getting the same teams we would get otherwise, and everyone's subjected to the same thing, then Scottie might be making a legitimate point, but in the end, it didn't have an effect on who's playing in this game or in these games.
Well, Max, no, he's not. No, he's not. And you're wrong for siding with him. And he's being disrespectful. I got much love for and respect for Scottie Pippen. He's a top 50 greatest player of all time, but he's dead wrong for this. People sacrificed a lot to make this bubble happen, and he's disrespecting those people. People left their families during the pandemic, during the time where people were dying, to go down there and work and play the game of basketball.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN.
Get that ball. No, the damn danger talking.
If he loses this chance,
replace the coach outside of trying to replace 15 players.
Rivers is the only coach in NBA history to lose a 3-1 lead in 3 playoff series.
I do think Pete Lou should get some real consideration. He has all of the winning pedigree that you want.
That's me.
And for those that may not be familiar, of course, Ty Lue currently is an assistant on the Clippers bench. Of course,
how convenient.
Yes, when LeBron and company won the championship in 2016. It's sort of like a Nick Nurse situation. Maybe the answer is right there on your staff. When Dwayne Casey was fired by the Raptors, they just promoted their top assistant, and Nick Nurse. Maybe it happens this way. Though, Jay, I would ask you this question. He's by far the most successful coach in Clippers history, though I'm not sure what that really means, to be honest with you. But in totality, let's be honest, he's been an NBA coach for 21 years. He's made the playoffs 16 times. He's got a championship. His bona fides are there. So the day after Steve Nash was hired as the Brooklyn Nets head coach, we were able to get Sean Marks, the general manager, on the show, and he essentially did say, look, my most important player wanted this guy to be our head coach, so he's our head coach. In this particular case, is it fair to say that maybe the Clippers' most important player had to weigh in on what he thought about the head coaching situation, and Kawhi played a big part?
It just smells weird. Has a weird smell to it. It feels, and this is my opinion, it feels like I watch a coup happen. So a coup. And what I mean by that is, think about 2020. There's been nothing normal about this year, okay, for this team. They played barely 25 games at full strength, healthy, with everybody healthy, okay? Going into this season, Kawhi and PG were coming off injuries where they had surgery. So you're still fine team chemistry with 2 new pieces to your team. The season shuts down for 3.5+ months. These guys come back into a bubble. Patrick Beverley is not there. Lou Will has the lemon pepper chicken wings experience. Montrezl Harrell, extra crispy. Montrezl Harrell comes back into the league after losing his grandmother. Never was the same once he was back into the league. He's a 6th man of the year. Okay, a lot of moving parts. Now, I know they were 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets, and they lost. They should have won. But it just feels like that. It was all of a sudden. I never known Steve Ballmer to make a knee-jerk reaction, right? Especially considering all the things that have happened this year with this team. So my thing is, at the end of the day, that's your line, kid. I should give $1 for your line. At the end of the day, how could Kawhi Leonard not sign off on that? He has to. Like, think about all the best players we have in the NBA. If there's a coaching change in Milwaukee, do you think Giannis is going to have something to do with it? If there is something that happens? If there's a coaching change in Cleveland, David Blatt, you think LeBron James had something to do with that to a degree? He did. Right? So, at the end of the day, Steve Ballmer has to have some conversation with Kawhi Leonard about saying, hey, do you want to keep this guy or do you not want to keep this guy? I may want to move in this direction, but I did bring you here to be a staple of our franchise. What do you want to do? Now, regardless of whether Kawhi's indifferent or not, that answer speaks for itself. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I don't think they should have made this move. I think you should have made some other personnel moves on the team first before you make a coaching move. But at the end of the day, Kawhi Leonard had to sign off on this, guys. He had to.
It certainly, as you say, smells like a Kawhi Leonard would have to have signed off on it alone, possibly with a PG. I mean, it's one of those situations where sometimes you get a coach that can only take you so far. Did Doc deserve to be let go or part mutually? I mean, it depends on who you're asking, right? They've never gotten out of the second round. Ever. With teams that it looked like he should have been able to get out of the second round with, whether it was the Lob City guys or whether it was this group. If in fact Kawhi Leonard listened to the powers that be, whether it was Steve Ballmer along with Jerry West, the general manager, you got to remember a couple years ago, Doc Rivers wore 2 hats, general manager and the head coach. They eventually allowed him to stay on as the head coach. So this is not something that Steve Ballmer and the powers that be came up with overnight. They've already been looking at how to get the Clippers over the hump. This is just probably the end of the line in a situation where they feel like going with a potential different voice is the better way to go.
I think here's part of the problem with the Clippers. Doc was the leader of this team, right? Like, it didn't feel like they had a leader on the court saying, follow me. That's not who Kawhi is. Kawhi is one of the best players there is in the league.
I'm taking my black ass to sleep. It's niggas waking up for work and shit, and I'm not staying up to watch nobody eat breakfast.
And I look at him in San Antonio. He was one of their best players, but that team was led by Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. When he was in Toronto, he was their best player, but that team was led by Kyle Lowry. Look what Toronto has done to get back to where they got to this year. The heart and soul of that team was Kyle Lowry. So now you bring Kawhi to the Clippers, still the best player in the team. But Paul George wasn't the leader, right? Paul George isn't telling people what to do, where to be. Patrick Beverley is